Good morning or good afternoon or middle of the night or whenever it is where you're at. This is John, Vintage Fisherman. Anybody that knows me knows I love these old Daiwas. This one is almost locked up. This is a 4000C external trip. These were the workhorses of the 70s on the Outer Banks. Any other place that people love to surf fish, these were the workhorse. The 7000 would have been for your bigger game. The 4000 was perfect for your average surf fishing duties. And this one is pretty grungy. We're going to clean those drags. I don't normally do anything with the Teflon. I just wipe them off, but the metal parts will get cleaned. This is just full of sand, so it'll get cleaned. Okay, the handle's locked up. That's never a good thing. So these have a handle that I don't know if I've got a pair of pliers over here that can handle this. We'll try. It has a handle on it you can break down with just by spinning this. There it goes. I put a piece of leather over it to protect from scratching it up. There we go. Good old WD-40, man. This stuff is just awesome. So that's a good thing. That came apart. Take this screw off over here. I literally could do these reels in my sleep. I say that and I'll have problems on this one, but these are, I got two to do. I've got a 4000 and I've got a 2600. We'll take the cover off. Let's use a straight blade. The biggest problem with these reels is these screws get corroded and break off. They're brass screws with chrome plating. God help us. Of course, stainless steel wouldn't be any better, to be honest with you. This reel's been used. I don't know if it's been maintained or not. It doesn't look like it's got a lot of sand in it. Don't normally have problems with the cover screws. If you're looking for one of these reels, especially if you're buying one at auction, make sure the line roller is still on there. The handle retaining nut screw. This cover plate's bad about falling off. And they're a $20, $25 reel. They're at the most. I mean, I get them like almost new in the box for 40 bucks. They are a good quality reel. I would use one in the surf right now and not feel bad about dunking it, getting sand in it, whatever. There ain't nothing I can't fix on this reel. All right, this is going to have a shim. This is your bearing, your main shaft. Bearing feels good. All right, now we're going to take the cross wind off. This screw right here. Take that screw out. Pull your shaft. Ooh, look at the grease on that. Now you can pull your main gear. Got our work cut out for us there. Your cross wind can come out. Look how gummy, folks. Look how gummy. I just cleaned my parts washer out. Oh well. We'll take that nut off right there. Maybe. Do I have a socket for it? Yeah. Wow, that thing is stuck. Okay. We'll finish up the main part of the reel here first, and we'll go into some of this other stuff. Let's see here. I normally leave this on there unless it's really stuck. I can clean all that. Same thing with this shaft. I'm going to leave it in there. Well, it's pretty messy, especially back here. We'll take it off. So that little small screw comes out. I keep parts together in groups. If you haven't noticed that, you got your handle. When this comes out, the spring will come with it. It's like that. Whoops. I don't normally like to take these out because that screw does not like to come out of there. It's stubborn. We'll take these 3 screws out. This is your retainer for your bearing on the pinion, and it retains the pinion. I probably went into my first one of these 4000 in the 80s or late 70s. My dad and my uncle probably had half a dozen of these reels. Man, they love fishing with them. They caught a lot of fish too, a lot of fish. All right, so we'll clean the case up here in just a minute. This bearing should slide off. We'll clean it up. As I've mentioned before, I don't normally run my bearings in the parts in the ultrasonic. If I do, I don't do it for more than a couple of seconds or 30 seconds to a minute. The vibration of the sound waves tends to flat spot the bearings just a little bit, makes it just a little bit rough. So this is only a 2 bearing reel. There's only a bushing on this side, and you can push that bushing out, I think. Yeah. So the hat of the bushing goes down from the inside. We'll clean that. I'll scrape that out here in just a minute. Okay, here's where the fun begins on this reel. But so far, it's going pretty good. You got and I'm selling this reel, by the way. This reel won't be for keeps. But these reels have a liner. So it has a liner, Teflon liner, then the roller. That's a really nice feature. Okay, here's where the problems can begin. I'm going to give it all the help I can. I'm going to give it a little bit of oil on this side. And that's a through hole, so I'm going to give it a little bit of oil on this side. And I'm going to say a prayer to all the real gods and hope all the planets are lined up. And I've got PTSD from the, oh, look at that, it was loose. It's a good day. I'm going to buy a lottery ticket. All right. Got that. Come over here to this side. This big screw normally doesn't break. I've only broke one off in all the years of doing these things. You got a little standoff there. This will pop out. And we got the last little troublesome screw here. And the bail spring. Now, These three, you don't have to take them out, but I think I'm going to. No, I'm not. No, wait a minute. That one came out easy. That one came out. There's always one. No, we're going back with those. They don't have to come out. That's for your anti-reverse cog. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take that apart. So, let's scrape the grease off. Look at all the grease in this thing. What I do, I just take a series of small screwdrivers and pick the grease out of the gear. It helps my parts washer get the rest of it out good. Go a little bit bigger screwdriver or something here. There we go. Okay, so we got that pinion cleaned out. Let's clean this thing off. This is your cross wind. Just scrape off the heavy part. Do that with it. The rest of that should clean up. Let's do the crosswind gear. Let's do the main gear. Look at this. It's a brick. Look at that stuff. It's hard as a rock. This is a Korean-made reel. Some of these reels are made in Japan. Man, if you can get a Japan reel, you really got a tank. This is a pretty good little tank here. Those Japan reels are next level. I don't know what the cutoff dates were when they started making them here, there, or wherever, but I usually keep all the Japan reels I can. Look at that stuff. It's just like a powder coming out of it. That's what had the reel slowed down. That's why it wouldn't run. What happens is if you keep using a reel in this condition, it just locks it up. Sometimes damages it beyond repair. I think my parts washer will get the rest of that. It's fresh. I just cleaned it up. Perfect timing, right? Cleaned it up just to mess it up. See, that stuff's hard as a rock up in there, and that's not good. Well, now you got to see me do the boring stuff about cleaning reels. I'm going to clean it up and I'll be back. Look at all that mess. Yeah, I wish I could show it to you a little bit better. Here we go. That's what came off the main gear mostly. It's going to clean up nice. I'll be back after I get it cleaned up. Hello, it's John. I'm back on this nice old Daiwa 4000. Man, it was dirty. It was really dirty. We'll get it back together. Not a real hard reel for sure. I've done so many of these things, man. I love them. I love them. Nice reels. Put your spring in there. The long arm. Well, that one's made kind of weird. The long arm with the longer hook at the end goes out towards the spool. So we're going to put towards the bail spring. Wake up, John. I'm a little groggy this morning. The allergies are full force right now. So I'm on allergy medicine now. It's fun. I'm not going to tighten that down yet. I got to push that piece in a little bit and slide this up under it. Sometimes it takes a little bit of effort, but that one wasn't too bad. And then we put this screw in. I'm greasing all these holes up good as I put them together. These reels are bad about sticking, corrosion. The grease will keep them from sticking and prevents water or salt water from getting into them. Creates a little bit of a seal. Grease, however, does create a problem with sand. So if you're using these on the beach in the surf, don't get crazy with it. You will not like life out there when you're trying to fish, sand sticking all over your reel. Okay, so this one got a liner, so you can just take a little bit of oil and then put the liner on, and then a little bit of oil. It's Teflon, so the oil won't hurt it. Your roller can go either way. Then I put a little dab of grease in the thread holes, or the holes for the threads. Wake up, John. And then that little standoff goes on there, and then you got a screw with a Teflon washer. That Teflon washer also helps keep moisture out of that roller. And these you can usually tighten up and they still roll. Yeah. And there it is. Smooth as silk. All right, we can set that aside, and that bolt nut goes with it. Let's put this bad boy back together. Yeah, I let this thing kind of slip around, so we're going to pull it back over and hold it with the fingers. Put a little bit of grease there. We'll go up inside where the selector shaft goes through. And we'll slide the selector shaft in. It's got a spring on it. Hook that spring in. Oh, it's all jammed up. Okay. All right. So it's in there. I'm going to have to hook that spring into place. I'll use a pair of needle nose tweezers, they call them. Okay, so you got this spring right here. It goes, the hook of it goes into the housing. Ooh, right. How am I attached? Shoot. Come on, John. I'll show you here in just a second. Goes in just like that. So once I put the handle on it, which I've already got a little bit of grease in that hole there for the screw, I'm on the struggle bus this morning. Hold on to that or you'll push it right back through as you're trying to get the lever on it. I swear. There we go. Then put that screw back in the end. And then when you flip that, it takes it from anti-reverse to non-anti-reverse. I did not take this screw here out because usually they are just stuck. And you end up butterflying the threads to get them out. All right, we'll leave the anti-reverse off. All right, this bushing goes in from the inside. So it's got a shoulder to it. Goes in just like that. Now let's go ahead and put, oh my goodness. Let's get this bearing on there. Yeah, the bearings were good. I checked them both out. They spin really nicely. I'll put the bearing on the shaft, on the pinion. Just like that. Squeeze that pinion up really good. You can pretty much slather it on there. I also, before I put the bearing in, give a little bit of grease on where the bearing rides, just so it doesn't get stuck so bad next time you go take it apart. Grease up those. Let me look at something real quick there. Yeah, okay, the bearing's the same on both sides. If you have a bearing that's open on one side and shielded on the other, always put the shielded side out on these spinning reels here at the pinion. Then you can put your retainer on there. Then I'm going to get my screw setter because I already know how this is going to go. I'll put the screw setter on there. Get them started. There's going to be a point in life, I guess I just can't work on these reels anymore. Right now I can still, at 58, I can still kind of see what I'm doing. And my fingers can kind of still feel what I'm doing. I can probably get to this one with my fingers, maybe. My fingers take a beating as a mechanic, and they are not great anymore. There we go. Okay, so I didn't take the anti-reverse cog off of there. Those screws are usually stuck pretty good, so didn't have to put that back on. We're going to go ahead and put this together. Put the nut on. I think I used a 13, but that looks like a 12. All right. Smooth. Now we can put the anti-reverse on. You can quieten that down by putting a little bit of grease back there. I like them loud. We'll grease it up. This gear just sits in there like that. Well, let's grease it up too. Need all the help you can get on these big gears. There's plenty of clearance in them. You can coat them up pretty good. Doesn't hurt a thing. And grease this gear up really well. You can grease this bushing, or this, you can grease the shaft up where it goes into that bushing pretty well, because it's greasing bushings. You got to go by your gut on this thing. The old saying with mechanics is oil and bushings and grease and bearings, but when you get down to these smaller sizes, it's pretty discretionary, because some bearings are too small for grease and some bushings are too tight for oil or for grease. So you just got to go with your gut on it. So that goes in there like that. We'll put some grease on top of this gear here. And then probably should put that in first, but it'll still work. That just rides on top of that little peg. There's a peg that goes up and down inside that cross wind block. Okay. All right, also got a shim that goes on here. Got a bearing. It's got a rubber shield on one side. We'll put it out. We're going to oil this shaft up. And push the shaft in. And then you just kind of locate it into that cross wind block until the hole lines up. A little bit of grease to keep that from getting stuck hard. Put the screw in there. There it is. See how it's all working together there? Cross wind block goes back and forth. Gosh, that's smooth. Okay. Well, we're ready for the cover. A little bit of, just a dab of grease in each one of those screw holes. Cover. We'll go ahead and give it just a little dab of grease on that shaft right there. Put the cover on. And 3 cover screws. Love working on these reels. They're so simple, so tough. They're just like the old pins. They're just, you can't kill them. All right, we're going to lubricate all this really good. It's kind of tight. Put some oil down in there. Give those threads some oil. Give the paddle some oil. Put your handle in. Put a little bit of grease in there so it'll seal up good. Tighten this nut up. This nut's made to use a coin on. This is my coin here on the workbench. Big, thick Craftsman 5/16 screwdriver. I think it's one of the handiest screwdrivers Craftsman ever made. I love that thing. Every once in a while, I hear it ticking. That's because I didn't have the handle tight. See what it does now. The handle is making contact with the bell. It's really close. Let's see if I can get it around to where right in. Right in there. It's pretty close. That's okay. It's made to be like that. All right, let's work on the drag. You got one leather washer. Let's see. That one went down in there. Did this one not have a washer? It should have a washer right in here. Let me see what I can find. I mean, I've never built one that didn't, so something's wrong there. May have something here in my box of tricks. Tell you what, I've used a lot of these parts out of here over the years. Box of tricks is getting smaller and smaller. Yeah, I don't think I got any Teflon washers in here. There's one little small one right there. It's too small. Yeah. I got this one too small. Yeah, that's kind of odd. It's supposed to have a washer in there. Wait, whoa. This will work. I didn't see that. Not technically the right size, but it will work. Just needs something between the spool and that shaft. So if the drag goes out really fast, it won't just gald that aluminum against that metal right there. See, it didn't have anything on it. And you can also space this out one way or the other to accommodate to how your line stacks on your spool. So if I don't know if I'll be the one ever using this reel, I think I'm going to sell it, but yeah, I'll tell whoever buys it, they may have to adjust it with a couple of shims to get the spool riding in or out, depending on how it stacks on the spool. So here we got the leather washer goes in first. The brown part of that washer goes down. And then you got two keyed washers. One goes in, and then you got Teflon, and I oil both sides of a Teflon. Then you got it eared, and then we'll oil, put the Teflon in, and some more oil, and then your top washer, keyed washer, and then you can put your keeper in. And that is the end of that. Just a little bit of grease right there. Put your drag knob on. That's good. That's real good. Swipe it down. Somebody's going to get a really nice reel. Wow, I enjoy that. I like these reels. I like them so much, I might do another one right after this. I've got a 2600C up here to do that is going into my collection. I had this one earmarked for my collection. I have a separate shelf for reels when they come in. I said, well, I'm going to keep that one. And it's not shelf quality, but it's a good user quality reel. But I've also got like 10 of these things. So as much as it hurts me to sell it, I'm probably going to sell it. So anyway, this is John, Vintage Fisherman. Thanks for watching. I really enjoy doing these things. Anyway, please like and subscribe, and come back if you want to see me do some more fishing reels, one that you might have and you want to get back together. And I enjoy this stuff. Talk to you later.